There is not a creature alive on the face of this planet or anywhere in the universe that does not feel grief at what is taking place, the chaos that has been uprooted, that has come to the surface. The masks have come off, the masks have been removed, the veils have been removed, and everybody can see the truth. Things that have been hidden from us, from so many, have come to light. Truths that those of us who are intuitively connected, who are psychically connected to the earth and to all of creation, these truths have been revealed to us when other people did not see them. When, for me, as a psychic medium, I begin to experience the wave of whatever energy is coming into our reality in the next few months, very, very early on. But I understand that everybody is not like that. And for most of the world, that truth, that energy sort of catches up to them a little bit later. But there is no way that you can have a soul, that you can breathe. And if you are connected to the breath, if you breathe, you have a soul. Everything on our planet connects with the breath of life. And so with everything taking place right now, even though in my understanding and in my knowledge and what Source has revealed to me, we are moving into what comes after chaos, which is what many refer to as the golden age. Right now, we are all grieving. We are grieving on a massive scale, and we are also grieving in our individual life experiences as we are right in the midst of the split. There are relationships we have had to release in love, and we are grieving them because that is natural. That's a natural part of the process. Some of us are grieving innocent children. Some of us are grieving for children that are not our own. There's so much happening right now. And you cannot be here and not feel the weight and the heaviness in the heart chakra. Grief is a part of our human experience, and it's as old as time. And some people find various ways to deal with it and cope with it. But what I want to share with you today is a message that I received from Source when I asked about the grief and the heaviness of what's happening in the world. And so many of us feel so helpless, and so many of us feel so hopeless. And this is the message I got, and this is what I want to share with you. Grief is the other face of love. Grief is not what we have made it to be, the enemy of love. Grief is not the opposite of love. And this is why so many of us suffer. This is why we find ourselves stuck in a state of suffering for months and even years, because our association with grief, the meaning we've attached to grief, is not what it really is. How privileged we are to be able to feel. And yet so much of our lives and so much of our experience and so much what we've learned is to suppress it, to find distraction from it, and to get as far away from it as possible. So when we're in a relationship and we've got to release a part of ourselves that we've grown quite attached to, we'd rather release the person. And then we throw the baby out with the bathwater, as I say. But if you can come to understand and realize that grief is the other face of love, and then you will know how privileged we are to be able to feel it. To feel, because that feeling of grief comes from the knowing of deep, sacred love and bond with another. comes from a period, a state of being where we were so deeply connected to self that it was able to, a part of ourselves, that it was able to manifest in another person, in a career, in a home, in a relationship of sorts. And grief is evidence of progress. Because when somebody chooses to transition, and it's always a choice, okay? Our souls only transition and do that, and we only do that thing that is known as death at our soul's appointed time. So when somebody makes that transition, that beautiful journey back into love, back into pure consciousness, back into becoming one with God Force, which is in the light that illuminates our planet, which is in the breath that we breathe, in the moments when we feel that there is not enough, and then suddenly it brings us to stillness, which is in our heartbeat that is taking place moment by moment without us having, or anybody having, any control of that. If you ever think that anybody else has control over your life, it is not true. Consider your heartbeat for a moment. Nobody has access to that. Nobody gets to decide whether it beats or not. You don't have to sit there making it beat every second. No, it just naturally happens for you. Grief is knowing that a soul moves on to the next stage of their evolution and rejoicing for them with tears of knowing that they are so special. It is a symbol of something so beautiful, but we associate all pain with negativity, and that's why we cannot grow. We associate all emotions and feelings with something being terribly wrong in our world, in our lives. This person has moved on from me because I'm not worthy of love, because I wasn't worthy to be chosen, because I'm not good enough. They've moved on to somebody else. And we make up all of these things. And we make up these things from our own lack of knowing who we are, from our own disconnection with self. So I want to encourage you. Take a moment and be honest with yourself about what your beliefs are around grief, and how you may have demonized it and made it the monster in your story, and made it the thing that you want to run so far away from. When I help people to work through grief, I help them to sit with it and to fall in love with it. And that's where the healing comes from. Not from rejecting it and trying to run far away from it and trying to numb it and trying to separate from it. Because when you do that, you also separate from the relationship, the value of the relationship. And that is why we think ghosts are scary. The spirits of loved ones who have moved on, we consider that to be something scary, something that can hurt us, because we associate their entire process, not respecting it, not respecting their and our process as it offers itself to us in its fullness, because we've demonized it and we've made it bad and we've made it this thing that we need to escape. Grief, unhappiness, dissatisfaction, a sense of loss. They're just another face of love. And if you can see them for who and what they really are, love will once again shine. And so that's the message I want to share with you today. Love and light.